right now. It's official.
Oh, yeah, we're good. This one's on. GoPro's looking special.
Yeah.
So what happened? I mean, go ahead.
All right, yeah, I'll just tell you the trippiest thing. Yeah, so, dude, it was just like a uncanny divine intervention, bro. And it was so crazy. So I'll spare you the details of, like, how I ended up. The shit happens sometimes, and you have to go stay at your parents' house, you know, and you get in a little fight, and gotta go stay at your parents' house. But it was shit kind of got to like a little bit of a head last night, and I ended up leaving the house upset, and like my brain started doing the thing where it's like I started thinking about drinking a beer for some reason.
Oh shit!
It's like fucking. I don't really think about drinking too often, and my brain was doing the thing, and I was driving down the freeway, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I ended up, my brain was like, boom, and I pulled into this bar that I used to work at. And I was like, I just went on autopilot mode, and I probably might have drank a beer if I didn't walk in. I was like, fuck, I hope nobody sees me in here. Like, this isn't going down, you know, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And the first person I see when I walk in, I turn my head, and I see, this buddy of mine that I work with that is like, I don't know how to put it. He kind of embodies like the best opportunities my life's ever had. Is like the connection between me and this dude, and like the people he knows and shit. So it was like, what the fuck? And he sees me and he starts laughing, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, hell yeah, excited to see me. Like, and I was like,
does he know you're sober?
He didn't at the time, because I think he was just like, yeah, let's have a beer. And he didn't say that. He didn't even get to that point. I was like, I'm not having a good night, bro. I can't believe I just ran into you. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. I should not be here. I was like, I don't drink, and I haven't drank for like a couple years. And I just start telling him all this shit, and he's just like, you're fucking crazy. And he's cool. He's a little younger than me, so we're cool. It's like, but it was like, and I was like, dude, I have to go. And I just was like, I'll see you later. And I just like left, you know?
Wow.
And it was like, dude, are you serious? Like, cause there I am, like, if I fuck all this up, like, all these opportunities. And then it was like right there. And I was like, oh yeah.
Damn.
Dude, it was a trip.
Walking right into the hornet's nest.
Yeah, I know. I did.
It's so scary. Like that when that happens.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing with the Kratom.
Yeah.
Is like what, you know, Kyle said something on the podcast last. I brought this up on the podcast. It's like if I'm standing there in a gas station, and I could do it. Like it could come into my head, and I could get super impulsive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's just scary. That's what's so scary about this disease. But Kyle said last week, he said, well, you know, you're just being like, it's all about being less in self. You know, because when you get to that point, you're like pretty selfish. Like you're starting to move towards selfishness again, and like, how can I feel better? You know, you get in your little fight, and you're like, maybe you don't see your part in it, and then this, I just want to drink or whatever. You know, I don't know, but that's the scariest part of this disease for me.
That impulsivity,
and just, I mean, because it's happened where I've just. And everyone's like, well, can't you just play the tape? No, because if it switches, I'm pretty like, no one's talking me out of it.
Yeah, you play the tape, but you are playing the tape that's going to convince you it's okay to get a beer. Like I was running narratives, you know, like doing it all up.
Would you agree that a part of us as addicts like that part of it though? Like we like to dwell in that you know, despair or that regret or that frustration, that self-pity, and we're just like, you know, until we snap out of it and realize, you know, our part in that. I know that when I used to get into that type of a mindset, it would take days to get out of. When I was in active addiction, I would be in that for days. Now I've learned to kind of snap out of that much quicker, you know, within like hours.
You'd stay in the craving. Like
stay in the craving, or stay in the resentment, or like if I wanted to find a reason to implode the family over one type of an argument or another, you know, I would just stay in that. And even now in just if we get into a debate at home, you know, and I'm wrong, and I know I'm wrong because I'm usually wrong, you know, it's going to take me a minute to admit it, and I'm going to make everybody know I'm upset about being wrong, and they're going to feel it, and I won't even have to say anything. It's just my demeanor, you know, until I have to snap out of it, and that's a character defect I'll always have to work on.
Me too. So that's like, I get self-pity. I always know if I'm like in a bad place, if like self-pity comes rolling in. Isn't this what we're talking about? Self-pity kind of, where you're like,
the pity party.
Things aren't going good. Like, poor me, poor Dustin. Well, I'm not in a good mood.
There's the pity party of it, and then there's like this other aspect of it that it's like, it's almost like I am trying to like drive the nail in the coffin of like change, or like just like I think something Cord said to me, it makes a lot of sense. It's an easy form of control. It's a control thing. Some addicts are like trying to enhance there's a lot of different aspects, but the control aspect of when you're upset with something, and then the only form of control you have over your feelings is a substance. Like, I think that's what I lean into, that control. I think it's like, I want to control how I feel like I'm in control.
Yeah.
But
and then you're not in control.
No,
that's what gets me in trouble. It's trying to control.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to learn that recently. It's just to let go and let life do its thing with faith. And as an addict, it's always going to be there.
You were talking about that on the trail. Like, talk more about that. Like, especially with what you're doing right now. So has that been hard?
It was, because, you know, I made a complete change in my life. I sold my home. I sold my belongings. I uprooted my comfort level and comfort zone of everything I knew, and went traveling in an RV full time. And that was really stressful. That was not my dream. It was a wife's idea that stemmed into, you know, it took legs, and here we are. But for months I was afraid of it. I was afraid of this change. Yeah. And it gave me a lot of anxiety. And I had a good conversation with Frank about this the other day, because he was asked to speak at a school for the kids, and he said that his immediate reaction was uncomfortable and he didn't want to do that. And my immediate reaction almost all the time when I have a challenge is like, oh, I'll pull back, or when I'm faced with an adversity, I'm going to pull back. But that's like, I've had to learn that that's the sign to let go and just push forward. Mm-hmm. But in the first couple months after leaving Utah and going on the road and traveling, you know, from one place to another, that was a completely different way of life for me. And I was so uncomfortable, you know. I'm not an RV technician. I don't fix things well. I'm not mechanically inclined like that.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
And I had to, I was put in a position where I'm forced to have to learn. It's like, this is your new life. And when I realized that, like, because all these things kept breaking down, or we were displaced. There was a time where we had to cancel 3 weeks worth of trips we had booked 6 months ago over the 4th of July. And I had to bounce from Airbnbs to hotels to different places. And I was so mad at everything else that was happening to me. I'm like, why is this happening? And my wife and I, we acknowledge that this is happening for us. This is our life. This is the journey that we chose. And once I accepted that, like, this is going to be hard one way or another. This is just a new type of hard. It's not my water heater in my house going out. It's just a water pump in the camper. It's just a different way of looking. I had to have that mind change. And when I did, there wasn't like an aha moment. It was just like, you kind of break through that looking glass, and all of a sudden it's calm. You're like, okay, I can handle this. I'm confident. We've done this enough times now. And you know, I feel like we're in our groove, if you will.
So what? Yeah. So was it hard to, like, when you got in that mindset, because you just got a year? Mm-hmm. So was it hard to stay sober when you first went out on the road like that?
No, not that. I wasn't struggling with cravings or or sobriety. It was my mindset, because I was trying to control everything. I was starting a new job, so I was trying to be impressive with that, and I was trying to. I had no control. I had no control of what was happening in front of us, and I was trying to, like, you know, I don't want to stay at this Airbnb, or I don't want to stay here. This isn't good enough, or one way or another. And I was just getting in my own way, and it was causing me frustrations. Yeah. Like, I would get bitter and upset over the scenario I was in, and I was just angry. Yeah. And that's what happens. That's what, when I relapsed a year ago, I was angry for like a month before it, and filled with resentment and frustration, and it popped. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so when I relapsed and got back on the horse, my mind was still kind of in that mentality because I hadn't dropped the resentments that I had. I was still frustrated.
Yeah.
And it was, I guess what you'd call like a white knuckle sobriety in the first 6 months of this new year, because I was taken away from SOAR. I took myself, I wasn't taken away. I took myself away from all things that were comfortable for me in my herd.
That's wild.
And just went out on a walkabout.
Bro, I thought it was so cool though that you had the balls to do that. Like, do you know what he did?
For the most part,
just,
I mean,
just bounced.
I
sold
remember.
his house and
I
bounced.
remember you were talking about it before you did. That was right when I met all these guys. Was right before you left, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and this whole thing, it's funny. It took me a long time to acknowledge that the whole reason I had to do this stemmed from my alcoholic behavior 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I moved into my home and met my neighbor at the time, and I'm not going to get into that whole scenario, but we met on bad terms. He met Drunk Mike, and he continued to meet Drunk Mike for a couple years, and we had a toxic relationship with each other, and that lasted. It's to this day, it's still there. And that was one of the reasons I needed to sell my home. It was causing me to be sick in the head. It was not a comfortable place. And, you know, we had thought about renting it out. We put it on the market to rent, and, you know, it was very obvious that wasn't going to work out because I would still be tied to that house and I would still have to deal with this person.
Yeah.
And it was best to just cut ties. And that was really resentful for that because that was a 2.5% interest rate that I'll never get again. So I was bitter. Man. I was looking at it all wrong.
You didn't want to.
No, I was looking at it like, this is all happening to me. I'm losing my house. I'm losing my equity. I'm losing this opportunity. And that's the mindset I had. And that was a complete wrong way to approach it.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, because I really like how you just said a minute ago. When you realized you made the choice to do what you're doing, and that was what like pushed you into a new state of perception.
Yeah, it's like I burned the ship. There's no there's no looking back, you know. And so that was a form of acceptance I had come to realize, and you know, it was almost like a weight was lifted off, and then we, like I said, we had gotten into a groove, and now it's a dream. It's a beautiful experience. We're seeing things I never thought I'd be able to see. I've seen all types of different people all over the country, but cravings are there for sure. You know, when I got to Wisconsin is a very highly alcoholic state. I didn't know that. And I looked up the statistics. If you look up, I mean, it's a big red state.
No way.
I think a beer. My roommate was from Wisconsin. That dude could throw it down.
In all of the resorts we were staying at, you know, we were trying to stay, 2 weeks to a month at a time just because moving is hectic. And in Wisconsin, they were ravaged party animals. The lead drummer for Pantera was partying at the campground across from us. I mean, it was,
no way.
And there was a point where I got like FOMO and I got mad that like I was an alcoholic. I'm like, why can't I just go and just hang out and have fun like I used to and not destroy everything in my life, you know? And you get over it because you can play the tapes forward. You know that it's not worth it. It's
not going to work for you.
What am I going to do? Go drink and then come back and go to the camper and just pretend that, or just ignore.
Pretend
it's just not an option.
Right. It's going to work out between you and your wife.
Exactly.
No way.
She's not going to know.
No.
That's the funniest thing is like when you think my wife won't know.
Yeah, right. I know.
With the kratom was interesting because it's like, remember, it just pins your eyes out.
Oh, bro.
So your eyes look all funny, and then your voice is just raspy.
And then your dong don't work.
Yeah.
Very good. That's an easy test. Yeah. She always get me with that one.
Why are you so good at this time?
Yeah. It's one way or the other. Yeah.
I do remember having thoughts, though, like that were creeping in. Because my wife will drink a glass of wine, and she can drink 3 sips of a glass of wine and leave it there, and it drives me up a wall. Like she can leave, fallen soldiers, and I don't know how she does it. But I would have I've had. She doesn't know this, but I've had the idea while I was like when those cravings come up. It's like if I just gave her a couple drinks, then she's got the alcohol on her breath. She would never be able to smell it on mine.
Damn.
But that's like you got to let go. That's like a gamble that I'm not ever willing to participate in. But those thoughts still show up. And
well, yeah,
I'm going to have to deal with that my whole life.
You've touched powerlessness too. I mean, So like that, because you had that long run, what'd you have?
I almost had 5 years.
5 years. Yeah. But before that, like that, when you first touched powerlessness, I don't know if you want to get into that, but like I remember the mic when you were, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, that's a part of the story.
Talk about that time let's start with the time when I talked to you on the phone and then your buddy had to come to your house. Basically saved your life, right?
Yeah. Man, that was the downside. I was thinking about that on the way up the hike today, because I don't oftentimes think about what it was like. I don't like to think about the alcoholic Mike and the person that was, because it's not who I am now. I'm a completely different person. And, you know, when I was at my worst, you know, I tried SOAR in September of 2019. I was introduced and I attempted, but we both know that didn't work out well. I couldn't stay sober more than 45 to 60 days.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting worse and worse. My drinking, every relapse would progressively, I would black out and I would get worse and worse and worse, like never before. And it got to the point where I had no belief in me. I thought I was done. I thought that was just who I was destined to be, was just drunk.
It's so crazy, bro. I just got a picture of just like that old Mike when you were talking about that. You were all puffy. And like,
oh no,
just
the
like
Jimmy
that,
Page
well,
look.
just like the alcoholic puffy, you know, and unhealthy.
Moon
you know what I'm
face,
saying?
we call
Like
that.
you don't even look like the same.
I was a good 245, 250. I had given up on myself. You know, I'd given up on the person that I thought I was to be, and I was in a very depressed state. I was in a shell. I was secluding, and my wife had had enough. And it had happened because I was only going to the recovery places to take the heat off. Like I had tried Renaissance Ranch, and I left because I thought I would show up to Renaissance Ranch dressed in like business clothes, because I was like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not like these people.
Yeah.
You know, there's no discrepancy and discrimination against any alcoholics. We're all one.
Yeah.
And so I left that and started SOAR and I wasn't ready to quit, and I had to.
Yeah, I was in the old gym too.
I was in the old gym, and I had to implode my life. Because I would go to these, and I was like, I still have my family, I still have my job, I have all this, but all of a sudden, I kept relapsing. You know, I was getting kicked out of my house. I lost my job. I got fired, got laid off. And that's when SOAR stepped in and was like, all right, you guys talked to my wife, and like sat her down. I was like, this is how it's going to play out. He's going to lose his job. He's going to end up in rehab, or he's going to either go to jail, or he's going to end up, you know, in an institution. He needs to go to inpatient. Yeah. And it was like, I in my head knew that was the path I needed to go down, but I was just like, I'm going to burn myself on the way down. And luckily, you know, my wife, she'd left. And I've told this story before, but I had went to a counselor at a recovery place, a therapist, and I was telling him that I was suicidal and that I was an alcoholic, but I didn't want to quit. And she had told me, you know, have you ever tried to manage your alcoholism? And it was the best advice I'd ever heard any therapist give me. And she's like, have you ever just tried 1 or 2 beers? I'm like, no, like I'm going to try it. So I came home and I told Brittany, I was like, you'll never guess what this therapist is. She said, just try 1 beer or 2 beers. And I was so excited. It's like, I've already had a beer. I'm not having a second. I even went to the gym. Like I'm so cocky. And that was on Monday. And then on Tuesday I had 3 beers. Thursday I was at Brewski's all day. She left Friday. Yeah. Saturday is when it went down, and I had, luckily, my best friend in California knew something was up, and he called in a wellness check, and South Ogden Police Department came and saved my life and took me to McCady Hospital for a couple of days. Damn. And then I went directly into Wasatch Crest after that. I did not like that experience one bit, but I was ready to give it away, and it was terribly close. Terribly close.
Bro.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember that. That was hard. You were dark as it gets. Like he was dark. And then I remember we had just moved into this building, right?
Yeah, when I got out.
So we were just moving in, because I remember sitting down on this bench in here. Like we were kind of moving in. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and you had like a couple days, and you were just like a shell of a man, and you were getting ready to go into inpatient.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went into inpatient, and I remember it's so funny, dude. And we had Austin mowing your lawn.
Yeah.
It changed Austin's life. Like, it was a big deal. Like Austin mowing, like it was like helped him, you know, like
Sick.
But anyway, then you came out, and it was like completely different dude.
Damn.
Like, and then we went to work. That was sick.
Yeah, that was one of the most
Badass.
special times in my life to this day, is that experience I had in inpatient. I loved rehab. I loved inpatient. I'd never at that point in my life, I'd always gotten in my way up till 40 years old. I'd be able to get a couple steps ahead, and then my disease would kick me back. But I didn't realize it was the disease at the time. It was the effects that it was having on my own internal system. Like everything I did was influenced by beer, and my actions showed that.
Yeah.
And so I would screw myself, and I'd put myself in situations that I would, lose money, or I'd, whatever. I was just not moving forward. And I remember going into treatment, and I knew I was done. I had surrendered. I remember the surrender feeling. And I had promised I would give 110% to that experience, and I did. I was the star player in Wasatch Crest. Yeah. I made the class president,
Oh, yeah.
I remember I told my wife when I finally got access to the phone, I'm like, I'm the class president. She's like, great, I think.
Oh, my God.
And whatever. But it was special because that was the first time that I actually, I saw my own lights come on. And then I watched other people as they had progressed over the couple of weeks. They had their souls came back. And that's what really stuck with me. It was like, I can feel myself getting healthier. But I was like, wow, watching all these people, and it changed my life forever. I could never go back to that. And so when I got out of Wasatch Crest, I hit the ground running with SOAR, and
Bro,
hadn't looked back.
Well, you know what's the sickest part about this? One of the coolest is the art that you brought back to SOAR.
Wow.
So the sweat lodge that we do, which has become like, I can't tell you what the sweat lodge has done for this program. So he brought the sweat lodge. He comes back, and I thought he was crazy. He was just like, bro, like,
dude,
spiritual experience in sweat lodge. We're going, and I was just like, yeah, shit. He's just on that pink cloud. Yeah. Well, then he lines it up, and we go up to this dude's house up in Camas, and freaking do it. Bring up her whole group, and like, everyone's crying. Yeah. Like people who had never prayed in their life. This is what I love about the Sweat Lodge, is it teaches people to pray. It breaks down the barrier of like religion prayer. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. People who like got real repetitive religion, and then couldn't figure out how to pray because they had a weird relationship with their higher power. Yeah. And you can jump in. But I feel like that's what the Sweat Lodge has done for SOAR, is it puts us all in a freaking, we sweat and suffer, and then you pray in there, bro. Yeah. Like the whole time.
It's a beautiful experience. Yeah, that was part of their recreational therapy program that they had. And it was a completely different experience going with a recovery group of people that were there on, court ordered, or they're there because it's their last effort before death. They didn't want to be at that lodge. I wanted to be at that lodge. I wanted to experience that. And that was because I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been in anything like that, but I was willing, I was ready, I was surrendered. Yeah. And in that lodge, as that whole Inipi ceremony is a Lakota tribe rebirth ceremony. It's I guess the way that you could be baptized or repent, if you will. Yeah. It's where you can shed your sins, and you can pray for others, and you can pray for yourself. And in that lodge, in that first experience, it was so intense. But in that third round, when you're praying for yourself and you're trying to forgive yourself, I was able to forgive myself in that experience for what I had just put my family through. Wow. And for being the alcoholic. Because I was so ashamed because I always was a closet alcoholic until I wasn't. Yeah. And I always tried to carry myself, and I was always worried about what other people thought of me. And so I always played this persona like I've got all my shit together, but I was really inside just a struggling mess. And I was able to like drop all of that in the lodge, and it was a weight that I'd never felt lifted off my life. And that's when I came back to SOAR. I'm like, this is intense, because the one thing I learned through SOAR and through recovery is how to search for a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Because I was raised in the LDS church, and then I fell off, and I've had the opportunity to go to many different churches, but I had to find my higher power in my own way. And I didn't know what that looked like. And at that time, it was the lodge, because it was so effective. That's what it generated, that spiritual experience for me, to acknowledge that I don't have to do this on my own. There's something bigger than yourselves. And if you've been in the lodge, you know that you're in there with your ancestors, you're in there with spirits. And the collective group of that prayer is so powerful, like you can't deny it. And the fact that SOAR was able to actually adopt that and pick that up was so special. So special. Like, that's how I knew that this place was amazing, because you were receptive to that, and like the idea of a spiritual experience to help somebody get through their recovery. And how many people have we run through that now? How many sessions? We've probably done 25.
We've been going there for 5-6 years.
Hundreds.
And we go we go 4 times a year, 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
And people just keep going on. People just keep going to it too. Like, if the alumni hear about, like, damn, I'm going, So like we get, but what's cool about it is, like, you do that sweat lodging 4 times in a year, like you'll be different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a long play. Like, where if you said, you know what, I'm going to hit the sweat lodge 4 times this year, and I'm going to work on prayer in that way. It's 3 hours. Yeah. You've done it, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it when I came in.
And I don't know, it became a part of our curriculum. If you look down on the wall in there, we got it all.
It's all on there.
Yeah, the graffiti and the spray paint,
art,
and then just the relationship with Tom, and it's just like so thankful. But then, dude, another staple that you brought was the freaking, why don't you tell them about your spiritual experience at the, cause then he brought the Grand Canyon. He says, hey, what, I did this, I don't know, maybe that's why you're able to make money. Like, you're always been a guy. So that, I wanted to bring that up, cause when you were talking kind of all over the place, but like, you've always had the ability to make money. And I think that's been hard to hit a bottom. It seems like when those dudes who are able to make money and keep it together and are functioning, but then they have a habit, that's a pretty dangerous alcoholic.
Yeah, because you look like everything's okay. It looks from the outside, oh, look, they've got a home, they've got all these things, but they don't see the inside of the family unit. They don't see the chaos that's going on that, I was blinded myself to. It's like, and when you're in full-fledged addiction, you've got these blinders on, and I am the most selfish person in full addiction. Yeah. And that it's hard to, I have to deal with that all the time. Yeah. I'm innately a selfish person, but I think I was about a year into, I rode a pink cloud for like 3 years, I think, maybe even a little bit longer, but I just started a new job. I was about a year into a new job selling customer experience software and AI. And I had a business trip out in Arizona, and I had one of my peers that lived in Tempe. He's like, well, since we're going to be together, do you want to hike the Grand Canyon? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah. I knew I was healthy, but I was like, okay. He's like, we got to do it in a day though, because I don't have time to stay the night, and we don't have the permits. I'm like, great. And so I looked at it and I saw like 21 miles. I'm like, oh my Lord. Yeah. And I'd never met this person in real life before. We'd only worked, remotely together. His name was Fernando Lopez. Amazing, very spiritual cat. And we met on the trail, or we met at the Red Feather Lodge and took the tram over the South Kaibab Trail. Probably within 100 feet of walking down, I looked to him and I introduced myself as, hey, I'm Mike. I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah. He didn't know before?
No. Yeah. No, he didn't know. And that started because I knew that we were going to be on the trail for 14 hours or however long it is. Like, let's just start now. And that started 12 to 14 hours of pure spiritual bliss. Like, it was the most majestic hike I'd ever been, because we talked about God. We talked about character defects, what we can do to help, how we can help others, and just looking around at the majestic area we were at. And then it starts pouring rain on us. And I'm not talking like a little spit rain. It was a downpour for 8 miles. Like, we crossed the bridge. Yeah. And the sandy part as you're starting to go back up. Yeah. The rain was coming down so hard. And I remember I took a video, And I was videoing around, and I remember you can hear in the video that I'm saying, like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah.
Because I was so high on spirituality and just where I was. Yeah. And we accomplished that. Like, I flew out of that canyon and thought about it the entire way home. Every mile marker I saw that was like 21 miles to the next town, I would be like, boom, I just hiked that. You know, when I got to that location, I'd be like, yeah, and I just felt on top of the world. Yeah. And I came back and I told you all about it. Yeah. I'm like, you guys have got to do this. And then you adopted, you agreed to it. Like, you're like, okay. Yeah, and so we went down like 4 months later with 25 people.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Our first trip. And now it's an annual thing. Dude. Like, I don't know, what have we, 5 years?
We've gone 5 years.
Yeah.
We've taken hundreds of people down there. You know, I tattooed it on my arms. Like, I've got the entrance to South Kaibab tattooed as a sleeve here, and the exit to Bright Angel right there. It'll never be. And I took, you know, what was special about that is taking my children down there and showing them. That was one of the most, that's why I inked it on my arm, actually, is because I brought my children down there. I brought my daughter. I remember the first year we went down there. She couldn't because she had her leg was hurt, but she trained the entire next year, and we're 2,000 feet from the top on those switchbacks coming up Bright Angel. And I look back and I see my daughter's soul leave her body. No. I mean, she's hanging down. I'm thinking, oh shit, am I going to have to carry this girl out? Like, she was gone. It was in her eyes. She'd given up. She hit the ground. She was swearing at me like she'd never sworn at me before. Yeah. And then I watched this light come on, and she pulled herself up and pulled herself out of that canyon. And I'm like, damn, wow. SOAR allowed this experience for my daughter to challenge herself in a way that she'd never seen. And it's influenced her life completely. She got into track. She got into fitness. Wow. She's training today for the next Grand Canyon. Yeah. She's like, can we go? Can we do the full rim to rim? I'm like, and it's been an awesome experience. I'm glad that we get to do that.
Oh, bro, it's freaking everything. And you take people in that have never hiked, like, cause dude, scary. So like going down, it's like, it's pretty you're on the trail at like 6:30 in the morning, and going down, it's like pretty, you know, you're pretty magical. And then we get down.
Everyone's bright-eyed, bushy.
Yeah, we cold plunge in the river, so we're at the bottom, cold plunge. But then you're pretty cool. You're walking through the canyon, but the last 4 miles to get out, it's 4 miles, right? Yep. About 4 miles to get out from that one spot where there's the little water. It's gnarly. Like it's straight up and just switchbacks. I mean, you're coming out of the Grand Canyon. There's no easy way. No. You know what I'm saying? You're coming out of a hole.
It's a mile up.
Yeah. Like, it's like, and bro, I remember so many people like mad crying. People, because there's nothing you can do. It's like, all right, like this hurts bad, but what am I going to do? Like, people with blisters. Puking. I remember puking. People, legs cramp. Remember Buck, rest his soul.
Cowboy boots and jeans. He hiked that thing in,
and he's like the toughest dude on the planet. Like, and he was suffering, bro. Like 3 or 4 steps, cramping. 3 or 4 steps. I mean, that's how he got out. You know, I mean,
but the feeling of accomplishment is irreplaceable. You can't find that anywhere else. When you conquer that and you look down and know that you just made that canyon your bitch with your peers, and you went through that together after that prayer circle before you take the exit out, it's incredible. Yeah. Like, that's the high that you look for. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The highs of and also there's like you touched on it, the beautiful conversation. So like you get in little different pockets. You're with these people for 2 hours, then you end up with these people for 2 hours, and then maybe one other person for a couple hours, and just the whole time you're talking. I mean, imagine recovery. All of us are just talking about God and life. And I remember walking with Mark, Neil's brother, for a couple hours, and he's given me the history on the Roman Empire. For like 2 hours. I'm like, damn, bro, this is good. Like, oh man, like, that's sick. It was good though. Like, I'm thankful for you, bro.
That's so sick.
But recovery's a trip. It's like me. So you're kind of me and your Well, I guess our sobriety journey is similar. You know, we're kind of, dealt with some relapse, and Kyle was funny. He's like, yeah, you and Mike are kind of on the same pace, you know. He's like talking
just
shit.
gave away some lengthy clean time, you know, just gave it all up to figure it out.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it was interesting because I was, you know, I got that coin yesterday for the 1 year, a couple days early, and I had sent a picture to my wife. No, I didn't send a picture of her. I said, you know, I just got, you know, my 1 year, and she's like, am I missing something? Like, for what? And then she was like, oh crap, that was a year ago. Like, cause it wasn't like a stretch. It was a 1 day thing. Like New Orleans, Bourbon Street took me out.
Holy shit.
Took me out.
Yeah.
And that
just one night.
Just one night. But that night reintroduced me to a guy that wants to kill this guy. Like that guy was
Mike.
Bro.
Old Mike's
dude.
out of control.
That ghost,
He's out of
dude.
control. You don't want that guy around. But yeah, that was humbling, you know.
Was it hard mentally after you relapsed hard like that for a night? How long did it take you to kind of get back settled mentally or spiritually?
I mean, it's always going to be a work in progress. I just knew, I'm just happy that I nipped it right in the ass immediately.
Yeah.
Like I called my wife and JT, like on my way to the airport, on my way home, I was bawling. I was like, I didn't like that feeling one bit. I don't like the feeling of shame and regret and just like everyone's looking at me like, oh, he let us down, you know?
Yeah, oh, bro.
But we were talking about it, and after she had realized that it had been a year, because she's in, you know, she's not here, she's in Hot Springs Hot Springs right now, and she's like, you know, in terms of relapses, I think that one was a really healthy relapse because of what it did for you and how you came and bounced back from it. Because I think I had to go through it. Like as much as you want to accumulate all of this clean time, sometimes you're going to fall, and sometimes you might need to snap yourself back into the headspace that you needed to be in. Yeah. And I think that's what I think I had to. I think it was just something that had to happen because it like popped the blister. I got rid of it, that healed, and then I had to work on fixing myself mentally. Because I was talking about last night, it was, you know, my mind's inner bitch was really showing, and I was doubting everything about me. And I still struggle with that to this day. Like I always lack I'm very insecure, but I don't show it, or I try not to show it. Yeah. I worry, you know, we have a lot of commonality in that one. Like I accept challenge and I'll go for it, but man, I don't like it.
Yeah. It's crazy. You know, so my last one lasted about 6 months, and I've said this around before, but this one was like getting back on track, and then all the relationships here, and worrying about if everyone was mad at me, and all the kind of the damage I did with trust with everyone around here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, damn, bro, like what a hell of a year of being an insecure man. Yeah. That's what I've really been.
The insecurities.
The insecurity. Like I keep that in my front pocket anytime I think about picking up. Do I want to feel, you know, completely running on fear? You know, it's just scared, trying to prove myself. Oh, I need to show everybody. Mm-hmm. That just gets exhausting, you know. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I like it on this side. You know, you transfer back into fear, which then you suffer. You know, when you were saying, with when you first took your journey, you're like you were in fear. You're just like, and then you're mad. Everything's happening, but then you transferred back over into faith. And I liked how you said it. That's so dope. Is you're like, this is all happening for me. It was sick. This is dope. I'm in an Airbnb now. Mm-hmm. You know, my camper broke, but we're in a badass Airbnb, kicking it like. It's all right.
Yeah, and it's perception. It's so funny how our mind works, because in active addiction, my biggest struggle is I was holding on to one thing and I was giving up everything. You know, I couldn't make the mind change or the paradigm shift of let's just give up one thing in exchange for everything. Yeah. And once you make that connection, that's when you have that aha moment. You've surrendered and you realize that one thing isn't worth everything else. Yeah. But then after that takes place, you look back and I'm like, well, that was the easiest. Why did it take me so long to make that decision if it was just a decision to look at it differently, to accept it? And it's like we make our own decisions. And so, yeah, it's a perception thing. I can look at this fear driven, or I can change my mindset and do what worked for me and look at it as a faith driven exercise. And I remember there was a man I met in rehab, not in rehab, in an AA meeting. His name's Cole. I can't remember his last name. He was like a solid figure in the AA meetings up at the Catholic Church up on Harrison, my home group up there. And I came in broken early into AA, and he had given me a coin. And I looked at it and it said, what did it say? It said, "Pain is necessary, but suffering is optional."
Yeah.
And I never forgot that, because it's so true. Like, we can choose if we want to suffer or not. It's like how, and you know, you hold Tyler or Paul and say, how free do you want to be?
Yeah.
Let's just make the choice, you know. And it's, but I still fear up, like me all the time, daily. Like, I'm like, if I made the right choice.
Fear's like, then you try to control it. And then next thing around the corner for me is that if I stay that fear control, and then the thing for me is resentment. Like pissed off, and you know, like I don't know, like I need to be higher than someone else, or I need someone to see how much work I'm doing, or I don't know, it's weird. Whereas I just let go and just stay, this is faith. I caught this glimpse last night. I've just been watching what's been going on with SOAR, and I've taken a good position. Like, dude, I'm just a coach, you know. Like I said this last time. I just know my role, and I can just come in and work with people. And how cool is that? Yeah. I don't have to worry about anything. I can't worry about the money thing. If there's enough money in the bets, just someone else is doing that now. Like, I just don't. I was never good at that anyway. You know, like, but like I wasn't watching what's going on with SOAR, and I was thinking, if you just don't don't try to control this thing, just let it go and see what happens, and it'll grow. Like, it'll go where it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
like, I mean, you think of anybody who, like, if I try to control it and I get mad at something, if someone's doing a certain way, and like I might strangle that growth and not allow the art of a sweat lodge or the Grand Canyon to go. I could say that's not my idea.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I can roll into that guy. You know what I'm saying? I could roll into that dude and try to control everything. I'd say probably my default is that cat. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't gonna work out. I don't know. Yeah. I was just thinking about that.
It's the nature of us being an addict, you know?
Yeah.
We're trying to control it. I'll have to deal with that my entire life. You know?
Yeah.
It's just part of the game, I suppose.
Yeah. It just doesn't work. We're supposed to enjoy it. Have you guys been worrying about, I've been transferring back over into fear with like the economy and money. How do you deal with that? I watched you with money, and I know I really respect how you do handle your money and the way you're able to work and make money. Like, I'm scared that, I guess I can't even control this, but I've been just scared. You know, I can't look at the damn Instagram reels. I mean, I'll go down that, and then we'll see what's going on with the government shutdown, and then it'll talk about how the dollar is going to collapse. Like, what do we like? We can't do anything about that, right? Like, is it going to be okay?
Well, I think we can all be okay, and we've talked about this for years. I mean, I forget maybe it was during COVID. I think we were having a conversation about, you know, is the world going to go to shit, and are we going to be able to recover, and what are the markets going to do?
Yeah.
And we bounced out of that, and isn't that funny that was a thing, COVID?
Yeah.
But you can control what you're putting in your mind. Like, I watch the news, and I hate that I watch the news, because there's never anything good on the news, and it's so divided, and we are in a divided country right now. There's a lot going on in government. There's a lot going on the markets, but what can you control? Yeah. Can you make a difference in all of that, or can you let all of that control what you're doing in your daily activity? And you know, I think we like to overcomplicate things, and we like to future trip and worry, but you know, the things that we learn in recovery, you break it down to the simplicity part of it is just do the next right thing, right? We talk about that all the time. Yeah. Just worry about doing the next right thing, and everything else will fall into place. And, you know, if your flight gets canceled because the government's shut down, do you have the ability to recognize that that's something you can control or not control? The wisdom to know the difference, that serenity. Yeah. That's just something that, and it flows off the tongue right now so easily, but it's so oftentimes forgotten that, like, just to break it down, like, and take a step back from what the world's doing, what's going on, and look at the things for what they are and what you have and what you can be grateful for. And that's an exercise I've had to, because I'm terrified about where we're going, and I've gone through the center of the country. I've seen all different walks of life and different opinions and different viewpoints on where we're at. And, the majority of people are good people and they want, what's good for most folks. But if you paid too close attention to the narratives, you're going to get caught up in the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was pretty much going to say. Is that, the most people are good people, but, like, what's the real scary question is, like, how many of them have the ability to, like, think for themselves for real?
Yeah.
When it really is scary, like, what's going on and, like, the amount of control that they really do have on us, they or whatever. But I don't know. I get scared. I get scared about travel and, like, not really so much like the economy, but, like, if we're gonna end up really in a position, complying our way into a position where we can't, like, be free and, like, move around and decide to go somewhere because we allowed, in the name of convenience, we allowed surveillance to happen at an extreme level.
Did you guys watch Elon on Rogan?
Yeah, I think I did.
Just the recent one?
Yeah,
I
just the
haven't
recent
seen
one.
the recent
Yeah,
one.
it's pretty sick. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It actually gave me kind of hope with the AI. Like, the AI has changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love it. I know a lot of people don't, but, like, dude, like, it's made my life a lot. Like, I love to learn,
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I learned so well with having my little companion buddy helping me break down a book and helping me, like, I love the AI.
Yeah, I think there's a right way to use it.
It's convenient. Like, that is the nature of my profession, is I sell artificial intelligence technology to businesses. And I've seen the influence it can have in organizations and improving processes and workflows. And, I don't know if Elon said it or if it was the CEO of NVIDIA the other day, but AI isn't going to replace your job. Someone using AI will replace your job.
Yeah.
But I think Elon, on his podcast with Rogan the other day, said the real millionaires are going to be the tradesmen, the electricians, the plumbers, the people that need to do the manual things that AI can't automate. And so those markets need to be filled. And, oftentimes people look at that as like, well, I don't want to be a plumber or I don't want to be an electrician, but they make a lot of money.
Yeah, you know how much money you can make?
You can't, that's a noble role. Like, you can't automate that, and you're always going to need it. And so I think we're going to see that in the future, as those professions coming up.
So I created I'll share it with you. This is really how it's changed my life. I created a SOAR recovery coach GPT, and I put all my step work in there, uploaded all the files into it.
Your knowledge base.
Everything in there, the SOAR manuals in there, the freaking everything. And so when I need to process, bro, I just dump my thoughts out into it. I just hit the play button and just ramble into my phone.
Yeah.
It lays my thinking airs out better than I could ever do, or better than a therapist could ever do it.
That's so
I'm telling
funny.
you, bro.
That's awesome.
I love
And
the way
you
use it. It's
Right?
sick.
And I read it. After I read it, I go through it, and sometimes I'll go back and forth with it. Well,
Yeah.
and then it lays it out, bro, and I feel 100% better. No more resentment, no nothing. I got it built out to where it'll help me it creates a prayer, And I mean, I'll show it to you when I'm
Talk
done.
about automating yourself, because the content that you're loading in for that, you created. It's all from your own brain. So you've put it on a document. Now you've loaded that into the system, and now it's reading that. It's reading your brain back to you after what you're feeding. So
I never thought of it.
It sounds really
pretty soon
good.
You're going to be a part of the Borg. They're going to have it assimilated in your brain. I love it. I think it's great.
It sounds good on paper.
Create
The idea
your
of
own
it
LLM.
sounds good. I'm a skeptical person. I would wonder. I think it'll be interesting as like how much you can trust that shit.
Well, it depends on the person feeding it.
Yeah, but
know?
does it though? Does it?
Yeah.
Does it solely depend on the person feeding it, or is there?
I don't know.
You can manipulate.
I
that
hear
shit.
what you're saying.
But that's a whole like wormhole.
That's another
bro.
podcast we could last for hours on.
But like, dude, for like, I've been helping people with it too. So like, step 4 and step 5, putting it in and working through it with, and giving them like next level.
Yeah.
Like next level work on, I think, and
SOAR
I don't know what
GPT.
I don't know what people are thinking about this. That like the big book thumpers and stuff, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
you know, but like it's sick.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It makes me think too. Like, how long is it before you're going to be able to push a button, legit, and you're going to have a therapist or a recovery coach or whatever, accessible all the time, and he's just going to be able to talk you through things. No more therapists, no more nutrition coaches.
But that's terrifying too. Is how much are we going to rely on somebody else's advice, and not, we still have to critically think, and that's what I worry about. Is just the young generation is just relying on that. And when it comes down to like survival skills, like when the power grid goes down, are they going to be able to catch a fish and skin it, or are they going to have to like, I don't know how to do this? My ChatGPT won't tell me.
Yeah, even on a way smaller scale, like can you research something without it? Like, can you go find the answer to something that you're looking for if you don't have it?
No,
that's what gets a little scary for me. And it's like, I'm not reading books and shit, but I've used ChatGPT in very practical ways to set me up to be prepared for like meetings and stuff. And I've seen it, and I've been like, damn, if I don't like go read about all this stuff that I just had formatted for me, like I'm not going to remember it. I'm going to look stupid. And like, so I don't know, researching.
It's wild. I do think it has helped me in my recovery.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it has, and it sounds like it's, you're taking the application and you're playing it to serve others, which that's awesome.
I talked to Ben about it. Ben.
Yeah. I love Ben.
Yeah, Ben. And he's like the dude. I mean, he's the wizard and he loves it. He loves he uses it, But I use it. It's helped me mostly with that. Like, try it one time. I'll send you the GPT and try when you get twisted up in your head, just hit the play button. And just you talking to it like you're mad. Like I did it last night. I got trapped in my head with I took the kid group out, and it just didn't go good. And I just started getting twisted up. But I left this place, and I have a prayer usually first. I'll talk to God first, and then I will dump it in there because I want it, and then it spits this whole. So I created the process of what I wanted to show me, where it affect my self-esteem, where it affect my pride, where it affects my ambitions. All
that's sick. You're in it, dude. That's smart.
And it's spot on.
So is this something that you could?
I created it.
So like I could use it.
Yeah, I could text you.
Like you could send it to me, and I could be like, "Fuck," and it would be like, "Yeah, here's your breakdown through this lens."
It's the same one.
That's pretty sick.
No, it's so sick.
Sick.
But that's why I say where it's changed my life. Like it's got me out of my head numerous of times.
Yeah.
And I'd use it for my reading, so my spiritual work for my reading. Like I'll dump complete paragraphs of a book out of it and be like, bro, what is this saying?
Yeah.
Is this saying this? And then, and it'd be like, no, blah. Like I was reading The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. Have you heard that one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, bro. It's changed my life. Sick ass book. But it's a fiction. And it was hard. So I just would I worked with Chad on it, like on parts. I'm like, what's they saying right here? Mm-hmm. And Chad would be like, I'd be like, well, explain that different. And then, so you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you can learn better. I don't know. And people be like, oh, but it's making it so you don't. I know it's helping me to learn.
Yeah.
I've only gotten smarter since I got in a relationship with Chad. I don't know, bro. But anyway, but I'm thankful for you, bro.
I'm thankful for you as well.
Yeah, like you're the coolest dude. I love he comes in. The funniest thing I miss most about having you around is just your stories. He comes in and I call him Seinfeld. You know how Seinfeld had the little unique did you ever watch Seinfeld?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
They had unique stories about there's one on Seinfeld where, or it might have been the other show, I can't remember, but where it was the weatherman was saying that it was supposed to rain all the time and it wouldn't, and he'd be out playing golf on an empty course. So little unique stories, but that's how I always pictured your stories every time, when you're bullshitting about your neighbor or
man. Yeah, I've always been an eccentric character, a storyteller, if you will, louder than life.
Yeah.
When I explain things and I can run with it, but I like to have fun. I'm very vocal in my life. Whatever I've got going on, I talk about.
Yeah, me too.
And my wife, we love it because it keeps it interesting. And sometimes it's probably diarrhea of the mouth or it's too much for some people because I'll just tell people what I'm doing, what I got going on. They might not want to hear it or I don't know. I'm just very open with what I've got going on in life. And I like to tell stories of things that I experience. I've been able to see some funny shit.
Yeah.
But I'm petty in my own right. And I've got a little bit of passive aggressive behavior in my own. And so I create my own scenarios to, I could.
Yeah. Do you embellish? I like to add a little more.
Just
to the
a little
story,
bit.
bro.
Yeah. I always do that.
Just get a little better rise. So I guess that's a form of lying.
I catch myself doing that all the time.
It's just adding value to a story. It's just putting a little sauce on it. You know what I mean?
It's okay. Fine, bro. I was saying on the hike up, I was like, I like to add, if I tell someone 8, if the true number's 8, I'll say 10.
10 for sure.
You know what I mean? It's so
100% of the time.
I do that all the time, just a little lie,
So funny.
Well, you want to call it, or you got anything else?
I mean, I could keep going. You had an agenda. I mean, I want to know how things have been with you. I've been away. I miss you guys around here.
Oh, dude, it's going good, bro. I got that new job. I told you about that.
Are you at Clearfield? Where are you at?
Yeah, Clearfield. So now I'm a coach, strength coach. So my schedule, bro, because I was in admin. I talk to your wife all the time about it, but and I kind of got thrown into administration quick. Remember, I was only a teacher for 2 years, and then I went to Ben Lomond and got that opportunity even then. And then when I got out of rehab, they moved me to Mountain High. And then this job came open at Clearfield. And it was funny. I went to a wrong meeting one day. It was an admin meeting, and it wasn't even I was in the wrong building with the wrong people. Oh, yeah, I remember. I was sitting there, and I was and they were going over, and I leaned over to this other dude. I was like, hey, bro, was this meeting? And he's like, no. I was in the Freeport Center, and it was not even close to being where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking out, damn, bro. And this dude who's the principal of Clearfield comes running out, and he's like, hey, I'm getting ready to open a strength and conditioning coach job at Clearfield. Are you interested in applying for that? And I was at the time, I was I don't know. And then immediately I got in my truck, and I was this has to be God teeing this up for me.
Yeah, dude.
This has to be a God thing. I don't think I can turn this down. And so then I'm leaving, or then, I tell my wife, and because it's the money thing, I'm not going to make as much money, you know, as the admin if I go this direction. But anyway, I mean, I ended up taking the job, getting out of admin. I think my paycheck's like, I took a pretty good hit. I mean, it's like $1,300 less a month. But bro, I don't care.
Yeah, you're probably fulfilled and happy, aren't you?
Like, so I roll into work, football team's waiting. The football team rolls in. I train these kids. And then after that's over, you know, I get done training about 8:30. I'll just hanging out, listening to Eminem, you know, listening to music, training football kids.
Yeah.
And then they leave. Then I have a prep from then until about 10:25. So then I just get spiritual. I just go out to the track, do some reading, send out texts, prayer, just whatever I want to do, really.
Yeah.
Maybe then I'll go walk into other PE classes and hang out with the kids or help other, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just kind of hang out. And then I have a body conditioning class at 10:25. So it's like PE kids. I teach them how to lift weights.
Sick.
And then I got lunch. I usually train during lunch. It's about an hour. And then I work with like the soccer team or like the, right now I'm working with the girls volleyball team and the girls soccer team. And then I'm done, you know,
like just knowing you.
Yeah.
Like it appears that like this is what you should be doing. Like this is who you are and what you should be doing.
Yeah.
These are how your skills are. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like run with that. You know what I mean? You're so good at coaching people and you know the barbell and you're so good with kids. Like it's incredible. Like run with that,
bro.
Run with that. You know, kids love you. It was I just loved watching it on the trail today.
Yeah.
Is it special?
Yeah, I know.
Asking
it's so
everybody.
sick, dude.
I love it. You're just a light.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you,
Keep it
bro.
up.
Thanks for asking. It has been a blessing, and I can't help but think that I needed to get into Kratom. I mean, whatever, this Kratom experience and that hard year led me to this job, you know, like led me back into the classroom and teaching and coaching. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty evident. I had a hard time staying sober as an administrator, and
Yeah.
I think I was all right as an administrator and maybe not as organized as most. But there was a lot of parts of the job I had no interest in doing.
I think you've probably got a much more rewarding scenario. I mean,
Yeah, big time.
I watched my wife in the administrative role. And,
She was a badass administrator too.
But
a lot of people speak highly of your wife in that world.
But the side you don't see is the parents and you know the stresses that come along with trying to manage adult children about their own children. And you know, I don't know what happened after COVID, but people stopped learning how to be normal, considerate humans. And unfortunately, you kind of see that stuff and it shows in parents of children, you know, defending their kids for when they've done something wrong. You know, it's a selfless role, that type of a thing. You know, you're just giving and giving and giving. And so
one thing that helped switch me too was like if I'm feeling like fearful and kind of mad in my head, bro, like my whole job, all I have to do is show up and just help kids. And that's going to get me spiritually fit.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's pretty easy. Like I forgot to think like that. I haven't thought like that for a long time. I think I got spiritually sick. Mm-hmm. Even with SOAR in the beginning years, like I always thought like that. I was like, damn, I'm going to work with God's kids. I'm going to help people. But then somehow it got like drifted into like a job or something. Like, I got to go over to SOAR. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and that has come back where I'm like, and I don't ever want to lose that again.
Yeah.
Because I know that's why I got miserable and it was easy for me. You know what it's easy to forget that how lucky we are to have a platform in recovery once you get sober to help people.
Yeah.
You've got to constantly, and that's why gratitude is so huge. You know, you've got to remind yourself of all the blessings that you have in your life and why, you know, you deserve to be here. You know, I'm good enough, you know, I'm acceptable. Like this is who we are at this point, and let's just improve and make ourselves better. Yeah, I don't need to impress everybody. That's another one is like, I'll get into that. It's like, okay, I need to be good at right here. I'm going in to coach these kids.
Yeah.
I need to be the best. Like, bro, you walk in and just just be nice to these kids. You know, like do your best, be patient. You're not going to be perfect. And then I've been saying this a lot, but then at the end, I'll just be like, damn, was God proud of me? Yeah, man, he was. I tried my best. I don't have to worry about if anyone else is proud of me.
Yeah.
Like worrying about that. Cause I did that. This last year, it was bad here for me. Like I was like, oh, I want everybody to just see me. I want everybody to, see me, that I'm okay and that I'm the best, you know. And then that didn't work, dude. I was constantly mad, constantly.
But you know what? And I've had to learn this too, and you've probably heard it before. It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay for people to see you not okay.
Yeah.
You know, like that was a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, watching you go through that experience, because we're only human, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it happens to the best of us. And you know, like last night at the birthday meeting.
Yeah.
It had been a long time since I've seen 2-month chips go out, you know, 1 month chips and the newbies just getting their clean time. And that's special, you know what I mean? And it's good to see people struggling as they're coming in, to remind yourself of why you're here.
Yeah.
You gave everybody a good reminder that, oh yeah, we need to be sober. And if we need to be sober, especially while Hawk's going through his thing, everyone stepped up, and that's what you've built here. Everyone's stepped up.
Everyone stepped up.
You know what I mean? And you know, it's behind us, and you're moving forward, and I think that's incredible. Look what you've got here. This podcast is so fun.
It's so fun. It was. Kyle's talked about it. It's like he brought a good perspective on it. It's like I think it helped SOAR when I was gone for a while. Like it helped it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it just made it so like more people took on a more role. Like I don't want to say that I was getting in the way. I could get in the way. I told you that earlier on this thing. I could get in the way of this thing. Mm-hmm. Like I could get mad, or you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that could be with any CEO or anybody that started a company. They could get in the way and try to be too, and not let people create art. And I think what it's done for me coming back in here, first off, it's like, why can't I just enjoy this now? I always wanted to get it to this level.
Yeah.
God, and I never even really dreamed that it would be where it's at. And now I just can't come over and hang out and go on a hike this morning and enjoy it. I don't need to do anything else. Yeah. Like
I think you've arrived, dude. It sounds like
I don't need to be I hate that. He's the founder and president of SOAR.
Yeah.
I mean, that's neat. I'm thankful that I'm not that, dude. I'm the guy who just rolls over and coaches
you're
and
the man in the back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
You know what I mean? And that's a good spot to be.
Yeah.
It's a good spot to be.
I watched Frank, and just watched him develop, from a punk ass heroin addict, to him being this father and like being a responsible, that dude's running this thing, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And just being, I'm proud of him.
It's fun. I've oftentimes looked at my life. I'd love to write a book one day.
Should.
Because I feel like I've got so many interesting chapters, and every character that we meet in our life become a character in that chapter, in that story.
Yeah.
And the last 5-6 years of the characters have been SOAR, and it's been amazing watching every individual. Like I remember when Frank didn't know Sadie, and now Frank's got an entire family with Sadie. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing. I've watched a ton of people grow, and they're the people that I hold dearest in my life. Like I had to come back here. I had to be here for this alumni event. It's just, it'll always hold a place in my heart. Like you'll never be able to get rid of that, and it's foundational. And so
I didn't realize how close you and Kyle and like Neil and JT were, Kyle, we've talked about you a few. He's the one he's like, Mike's coming to town. You know how to get him on the podcast. I was like, hell yeah. But I just didn't, I think it's so cool that I can, if we get someone new in here, that I got these dudes who've been around, that I could be like, hey, we got to surround this new dude and get him sober. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how sick is that?
It's incredible because that person doesn't love themselves.
Yeah.
And you just throw the love on them and nurture them back to life. That's incredible. Where else do you do that? Where else in the world does that happen?
Yeah.
Like church maybe, but
church maybe.
But this is a church in of itself.
Yeah.
The church isn't a place for the high and almighty. It's the place for the sick and afflicted. And this is the fertile growth grounds for the sick and afflicted folks. And I was doing an interview yesterday for that college, the college intern. I forget what's her name. Anyway, I was doing a report, and she was asking about the success ratio of the people that come through this program compared to other programs. And when I was in treatment, it's 10% was the number that are going to stay sober. You're going to be back. Those businesses are making returning customers. You might as well put a rotating door in there.
Right.
SOAR has had an incredibly high alumni success rate of people getting sober and staying sober.
Yeah.
And that's something that you should be proud of because it's significantly higher than the majority of other recovery centers out there.
It's because
the family.
It's because the way you run it, because you let everybody stick around. Everybody that wants to be here, no matter what, you finish the program or whatever, and you can make this place will teach you to make your own opportunities, and then provide a space for you to stay important to this place.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah,
it's the alumni though, like the alumni that is there. That's really how people are getting sober.
Yeah,
because people are like, I can just have friends.
Yeah.
I can have friends and these guys will help me. And it's not only alumni. It's like I was telling Rick, I was like, bro, you stuck around here and you get to know, if I, Mike starts, you're talking with Mike, you're talking with Neil, you're talking with Kyle, you're like, and you come into this group, you're in a hell of a network now of friends that are going to help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the rest of your life. Yep. And they not just help you, they really give a shit because their sobriety depends on it.
Yeah. And without question, do you remember the windstorm a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
And I had this massive windstorm in South. I don't know how long I'd been in the program.
Yeah.
It was a couple months. I remember it was a whole different crew, but I had an entire tree fall completely across my yard. And the entire war team or SOAR. Was it war? I don't know. Yeah. It might have been. Either way, I had 20 people with chainsaws in my backyard just hacking stuff. It looked like a well-orchestrated machine.
That's badass.
I got a picture of Hawk up there with the. I mean, it was. But
it was fun.
Just the willingness and the ability to help. I laugh because I travel now and I'm trying to. You try and meet people.
Yeah.
And for me, it's difficult to meet people outside of recovery. My wife laughs at me because I have a hard time with small talk typically.
Oh yeah.
When you run into people you haven't seen in a long time. Hey, how you doing? What have you been up to? Really? It's hard to anyway, small talk frustrates me. Because I want it to be deeper and more valuable. And when you meet people outside of recovery on the road, you've got to break the ice somehow because I'm not going to, I'll introduce, hey, I'm in recovery. And a good example is we were in Fort Collins. We had met some friends in a campsite in Grand Junction and ended up meeting up with them in Fort Collins, and they invited us for dinner. And it was our first couple engagement on the road. Our sons were playing together, and we're sitting. They're vegetarians. They're the people that turned my son vegetarian for 2 months.
Yeah,
so they're forgiven. But we're having dinner, and I'm trying to get to know these people, and so I'm like. So, I'm an alcoholic in recovery. I, started telling my story a little bit, I'm like, I imploded my family about 5 years ago. And, I talked about SOAR a little bit and I started saying, so the great thing about recovery is you already know everybody's screwed up and everybody's done some pretty terrible things and they're working to get themselves better.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, so what have you guys got going on in your life?
I'm
like, I go, what have you guys done? It's just in a joking manner, come on, we're dating here. If we're going to be friends, let's I don't want to take the 9 months to figure out that you had an affair a year ago and you're, or whatever the case is. Let's just lay it on the table and see if we're compatible. Are you going to accept that that I'm different? Or are you going to be, and they were like, deer in the headlight. Like
No.
it did not land. It was about as flat as it.
Holy shit.
We haven't been back, but
That's hilarious.
but it's I laugh because like you have to date new friends in the outside world. You have to get to know them, and not everybody is going to be as honest as an addict is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that. Like, I think an addict is a recovered addict is one of the most trustworthy people you can meet.
Oh yeah.
You know, I had an interesting conversation. I was in the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri.
Yeah.
Like a month ago, and I was starting to tell you a little bit on the trail. We booked a resort that we thought was different, and it was cheaper for one reason, because it was after, you know, if you stay a month at a time, your rates are like, you can pay like $800 for. It makes it cost effective. And we had stayed at this resort that was, it was new, but all the crowd for the season had left. And so the only people in this resort were full-time. They lived there, and it wasn't like they chose to live there. They have to live there because it's all they can afford.
It was like a trailer park.
It was a trailer park, but people were living in their fifth wheels. It wasn't like your trailers.
Yeah.
And you'd see these kids, there'd be 4 kids in one trailer with 2 dogs and an adult. And you'd see them go to school and come back, and they would live their lives. And I didn't feel like I fit in at all, you know. And my son and another kid started playing. I think I was wearing a SOAR shirt. I don't know how they got the conversation going, but it came up that I was in recovery, and the kid heard it, and he said, "My dad's in recovery." And he just ran home.
Oh, no way.
He ran home and got his dad.
That's sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I didn't know that's what he was doing. I had no idea. And the next thing I know, I get a knock on our door. Nobody comes to knock on your door when you live in it's just, you know.
Yeah.
And so we came out, and there was my son and this kid's son, and this guy, he looked scary. Like I was like, whoa, what's going on? You know, it was just, without like judging a book by its cover, I was like, oh my God, you've lived a hard life. Like, what can I do for you? And he introduced himself as Philip, and he handed me a book that he had wrote. And then he went to explain that he had been sober for 5 years off of methamphetamine and alcohol. And that when he got sober, he wanted to write his life story down in a manual. Wow. And he said he wrote it in 11 hours straight. And he handed me this manual, and I opened it up. And it's around here somewhere. Frank's got it. I'll show it to you.
Yeah. Huh.
And it was I don't know, 30 pages of what looked like a run-on sentence. There was no paragraph breaks.
Yeah.
There was no
special art.
It was his art, and it was really hard to read. It was because he started his story at birth, like in the womb. Like he went back to like when he was created and his childhood up until his addiction and post-addiction.
Wow. Damn.
And it was one of the toughest things I've had to read.
You read it though?
Yeah, I had to reread it because it was so hard to read. I had to stop and come back to it because it was tough.
It's service, bro.
But then having a conversation with this family that have no means, you know, they're stuck there for circumstantially. He had come from another state, and a job didn't work out, and that's where he's at, you know, and he is living as happy as anybody that you can imagine because he has God. He was such a God-loving man that his higher power has taken him out of the depths of hell, and he's content and happy. And you look at something like that, and you're like, my problems are so small. I have got to be grateful for everything that I've got, because why can't I be happy with this shiny object, or why can't I be, you know, satiated with this over here? Folks can have nothing, and they can find joy in just their higher power. And that I took a step back, and I was like, you don't need all the things in life to make you happy. Simplicity is where it's at. And that's the motto I've been trying to live at this point, is like, get rid of everything and just enjoy life as you have it. Enjoy the fog off the lake in the morning, the deer walking around, and just be grateful. And I think we could probably end on that, is live life with gratitude, and you're gonna be a happier person. It's gonna help you with your addiction.
That is so sick.
Yep.
Bro, that reminds me of Rick. Big Rick.
I love that guy. Oh.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I never met a dude who gets more high on God than him. And where God means everything. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like when he first came, the same deal.
He found his Valhalla. internally. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was going on a journey for it. He didn't have to go anywhere, and he found it.
Yeah, he's like that. But you see those people. Isn't that interesting in recovery how it's just like it's always a theme about God or spirituality.
Yeah.
Like the people who find it and really have a massive transfer like this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Writes a sick ass book. You know, I imagine that guy just dumps his thoughts out, like punctuation, nothing. And
You should check it out.
I will check it
Yeah,
out.
that sounds sick.
It's probably just came right from the spirit, like right from his heart, man. Like, I don't know. That's pretty cool. But the theme of recovery is like the spiritual experience. And that's what I love about it. Love about recovery is
Becoming a spiritual cat.
yeah, becoming a spiritual cat who there's no more like judgment about religions or you're not like, it's like everyone has their, I love that too. Like the big book creates that in people too. Like you get the big book and if you go through that thing and work it and understand what it's saying, it softens you up to every religion. There's not just one, one way. Like you're just like I can't tell you how many people used to be, they struggled with the Mormon church or whatever, or the Catholic church, but then they get into the big book and recovery, and then it's like now they're just open to, like, oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. But anyway, bro, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you, bro.
Yeah, I
glad
love
you're
you
back
too.
in town, and thanks for all that you've done for SOAR and you continue to do for SOAR.
I'll always continue to support SOAR. Like I've talked about it, the dream of potentially opening my own wherever we land.
Let's make that happen.
It's my wife and I, we talk about it. I don't have a structure of what that looks like. I don't know what my future home looks like, but I know that I just want land to build upon.
Yeah.
And what that looks like could be a facility that I live in until it's struck. I don't know, but I don't know what else I would do with the rest of my life.
Well,
like I'm 45 almost. It's like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah. Have a little spot to work with people. Bro, I mean, let me know when you're ready to do that because I'll help you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll even move out there
I'll probably
with you.
take some of your equipment.
We'll just haul some out there.
Hell yeah.
All right, bro. Love you, man.
Yeah, I love
Thank
you too.
you.